got the juice, keep the show on fire. Josh brings the news straight from the source with no desire. The judge, our wise advisor, keeps us in line. Fresh from the comic shop, showcase your design. Ask Joe the comic book ninja for insights to explore. The popcorn gets to know you from straight to the core. I guess I'll have to think, cause we make some freaks. So much more to discover, this show's a hit. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. So let's start.
That's right. Let's start the show. The streak is over, though, for us being on time. We've been doing so good this year. 2025 has been about being on time. And tonight, I'd love to blame our guest, but I absolutely can't. It's Joe's fault.
It is not my fault.
Oh, get out of here. I don't want to start an argument at the top of the show. We'll get into a little bit later, maybe, because we got a lot of stuff to get through, right?
We do, but before we do that, we just need to say a very special hello to a very special guest who's in the chat, whose name I'm looking for, and I don't see. Here we go. Our guy, John, Heroes Reborn Comics. I need to recognize that he exists in the world. Otherwise, he gets mad and tells me about it in person.
But he likes me better than you. We've been over it. He said it.
That's fine. I'm tired of going to conventions and him being like, you ignore me in the chat.
I didn't know he had feelings. All right, let's just move on. We got to move on. This is episode 221. Dan De La Torre delivers an issue, a featured issue, as you all know. We like to have our featured episode issue correspond with the number of our episode, 221, as I said, which is, I know, Joe, you said you have a lot to talk about. It is X-Men, Uncanny X-Men number 221. The X-Men go on the hunt for the Marauders, who've been behind a series of brutal attacks on mutants. Meanwhile, a powerful new villain named Mr. Sinister pulls the strings from the shadows, making his first full appearance as tensions rise and loyalties are tested. The issue sets the stage for darker days ahead in the mutant world. We also written by Chris Claremont with art by Mark Silvestri. It's a classic issue, Joe, but you have thoughts. What do you want to talk about?
I love this book, first of all. This is really, like, if you think about it, the X-Men have long had Magneto since their first appearance. And in the movies and everything, it's pretty much all centered around Magneto. Let's be real. Mr. Sinister is kind of like the number 2 as far as like big bad guys in the mutant verse, let's call it. And I love the character of Mr. Sinister. He's been portrayed in really awesome ways in the comics, in the animated series. Not only that, but this comic, I love the cover. It's a Mark Silvestri cover. It's great. It's got Wolverine. It's got Havoc. Really cool action shot. But just imagine if this cover had Mr. Sinister on it, how much this book would be worth. I think that the one thing that really holds back the value of this book is that there's no Mr. Sinister on it. His first cover appearance, which is his second appearance, is a bunch of issues later, 239, I believe, and it's a phenomenal cover. And if that was the cover of that book, I think it would be worth a lot more. That being said, there is one thing to look out for this book, and Pope of Chillytown's been talking about this a lot recently. The So Much Fun variants. They were, I don't exactly know what they were for, but they in like part of the title box, they say So Much Fun on them, and they'll often say the word classic on there. So it says X-Men Classic, and then it says So Much Fun in the little corner box, and that's a little bit more rare of a variant, and not a lot of people know about it. So sometimes you can get them for the regular price, and high grade ones are obviously worth a bunch more.
No, for sure. Again, it's that cover. I mean, I understand if Sinister was on the cover, great, but that cover is freaking amazing. I love
the cover. Silvestri is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
for sure.
Really, really good. So, well done, Mr. De La Torre, Your Honorable De La Torre, aka the Judge. All right, we're gonna move on to the next segment that we do that you all love because you trust this person. He is the Adam Schefter of comic book canon.
Josh delivers the news and rumors.
Josh, you deliver the news and rumors each and every week. You do a fantastic job. You're actually getting much better each and every week as well. I don't like complimenting you much, but I mean, come on, you have been killing it lately. With that
I'm
said,
sorry. Can you say that?
we don't
Can
want
you
to
say
start
that
rambling
again?
on like you normally do, patting yourself on the back like you normally do, giving yourself kudos when nobody else is like you normally do. Is that right, Joe?
I don't know. I think this whole show is a giant train wreck catastrophe, and I only am coming here week to week because I'm contractually obligated. And quite honestly, I am, as you know, the highest paid member of Comic Book Canon, and it would be irresponsible for me to leave and let these two handle things, and also let these two get paid more for the novice job that they do. So I hang in here and I keep the things, everything glued together.
Can we just start the news? Josh, you got some stuff to get to. It's not a busy news week, but it's an interesting one. Joe, really love your preamble here. So
I was gonna say I still haven't got my paycheck, and I've been doing this for about a year.
what happened to his connection there?
I think he lost internet connection issues or something.
He's
He's back. Never mind, we're good. Hey, Josh, welcome back. Anyway, Josh, the news, first news
I'm
story.
losing connection over. That's when you're supposed to cut.
Do your job, Josh. Come on. Let's get through
let's
this.
start off with some good
Jecky is
news,
waiting.
okay? Let's start off with some good news, people. Filming for Avengers Doomsday has begun, and I can tell you this right now. We've gotten two, kind of like three set pictures so far. One, here we go. Some people are saying this is fake. I don't see how. I mean, it literally looks like Cyclops and Magneto, which is very interesting because you got to wonder what X-Men are we going to get. Obviously, it's going to be a bit of a different take. So is this Magneto a friend? Obviously, you would think maybe he is, or maybe he's just meeting, Cyclops on the set and they're going to try fighting and killing each other again. Who knows? There's another set picture I don't know if Jeff got, but it's with Cyclops and Wong. Yep, there you go. And I think this is more of like not on the actual set because Cyclops isn't wearing his glasses, so maybe it's just two actors, coming together and talking. But there's another picture that is very interesting. I don't know if Jeff got it, and it looks like it's the front of the X mansion. And there's a bunch of holes all around it, and people are thinking that, there's a battle going on. I'm thinking there might be some inclusions happening in front of the school. You're going to be seeing some stuff going on. Nevertheless, filming is underway. I don't expect too many spoilers to be leaked out over the course of the next couple of months, but don't be surprised if you see some actors, showing up in London for filming. It's going to happen, and I'm excited for this film.
I think millions of people are excited for this film. I did not get that third shot, and I apologize. I didn't do my job. But again, I don't understand how that could be fake, but I also don't understand how people are actually getting these pics because that set is, tight under wraps. Joseph, your thoughts?
Yeah, my main thought is, wouldn't it be great if this scene that we're seeing right here is actually a scene in the movie and it just hasn't had the special effects yet, and Cyclops is just blasting Wong's head off? Wouldn't that be awesome if that later was found out? We go to see the movie and it's like, oh my god, Cyclops decapitated Wong? That's crazy.
Obliterated by Cyclops. That would be absolutely amazing.
I'm so stoked for this movie. I mean, well, Jeff, you were already in your 40s by the time the X-Men movies came out, but me and Josh grew up on those X-Men movies, so these are going to be a great nostalgic throwback for us.
God, I can't stand you sometimes. We're throwing digs left and right. Let's try and be professional here. We have a show to put on. People pay good money to see us. Go ahead, Josh.
It's going to be tough, man, because this film's going to have to at least be 3 hours long. You got the original X-Men, you got the new Fantastic Four, you got, a bunch of players from the MCU, over 27 confirmed members so far of the casting, and they announced that even more are coming into this film. So, this film, I think, is going to just be a banger, and I think this is going to be a $2 billion film right off. I think,
$2 billion?
I'm telling you right now, I don't see this film doing $400 million at the box office.
Sure.
Let's just be real, gentlemen. Come on.
I'd be okay saying 1.5 billion. I would not say 2 billion. I don't even know if a film has reached 2 billion.
No,
Maybe we should make a bet on it.
Sure. Let's get back to that. But first we're going to get to the next news piece, which this is just a bunch of crap. By the way, like and subscribe if you have not done so already. We greatly appreciate it, but we are the most popular show on YouTube ever of all time. So why you're already subscribed and you're obviously liking this. Joshua.
Yeah, so this is man, we're still waiting on this, and I don't know. This doesn't look good now. So the script for Matt Reeves' The Batman 2 still hasn't been turned in yet. We were hearing rumors that they were looking to start shooting, mid-year, like June, July. However, that's probably not going to happen now. Looks like it might be pushed back into 2026, honestly, shooting. And that's because Robert Pattinson is going to be involved in Dune 3. He's going to be the main villain, and he's going to start shooting that. I think they're going to be around June, and it's going to last until about August, October. And if Matt Reeves still doesn't have the script turned in by then, who knows what's going to happen. I don't know. Some people are saying rumors that this film might end up getting canceled. I don't think so. I think with the Penguin and obviously, the vision they have for it, it's going to happen. But man, it sucks that we have to wait so long for a sequel. The tease with the Penguin, like it's going to be. When did the Batman come out in 2021?
2022.
2022. So, I mean, we'll have to see what happens, but hopefully by the end of the year they start shooting, if not earliest beginning of the year. We'll see what happens on this.
To me, and we've talked about this a couple times on the show, 5 years is not that long. Most sequels come out 2 to 3 years later. 5 years is a little bit longer, but as long as they do it well, I don't care. As long as it's good, I don't care. It's not like I'm losing interest. We got the Penguin just last year as kind of an in-betweener, and no one was mad about that. This is going to be great. They're going to continue this universe. The first movie was amazing. The Penguin spinoff was amazing. Maybe we get another spinoff in between now and then, or like a short or something like that. I'm ready for this. I'm fine with waiting until 2027.
Look, I agree with you. Let them take as long as they want, as long as it's a great movie. The problem is all of these different things that we're hearing, that the script is done, now it's not done. Now Robert Pattinson's going to be in Dune. Like, those are things that don't have enough. Well, the Robert Pattinson in Dune doesn't affect the movie other than pushing it back again. That's not a priority yet. The fact that they're going back and forth if the script is done, that's a problem to me. And it's frustrating as all of us fans. Like, we want to see it. I'm with you, Joe. I want this next film to exceed the previous one. But at the same time, what the hell is going on with this? Because it's also a little bit weird with the elsewhere worlds and all of that stuff being out of the loop. We're going to be talking about another Batman in a few minutes here. It just, again, it just annoys me personally. I'm not chill and cool and calm about the whole thing. I'm just like, what's the deal? It won't get canceled. I know for a fact.
No.
I mean, like, I don't know for a fact, but there's no way that this is going to get canceled. It's too much of a success. But at the same time, there's some weird stuff going on that really can't, that none of us can explain other than the people that are in the room. So that's all I'll say about that. By the way, I do want to say, hold on. Brian Klotz is not my new best friend. If Jeff would ever shave his beard, I could totally see him as Batman in this picture. Yeah, me too. Let's move on to the next story.
Yeah, so DC heavy this week, and this is a really cool story. So Kingpin himself, Vincent D'Onofrio, reframes his interest in playing DC Swamp Thing. He would like to play a Swamp Thing. We know that film, I believe, is definitely being made and coming out. And let me tell you something. He's, I don't say he's got the look, but he's got the build. He's a big guy. You're gonna put him in the suit. I'm trying to think of his voice and the way how he would act, but I think he would do a good job. I think if Swamp Thing had to be like a big baddie and go after it, then yeah, I think he could do a good job. So I say let DCU pick him up, man. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great actor. He's been in so many things, from crime drama like what was it, Law and Order, Criminal Intent, to being in so many movies, Full Metal Jacket, and we obviously have seen him recently as in a comic book character, Daredevil, as the Kingpin. I love Swamp Thing as a character. He's definitely got the physicality, the physical prowess, as we've seen him as Kingpin. Very similar type of character as far as physical build and things like that. Sure, why not? As long as he doesn't quit doing Kingpin on us.
That's a fact. And also, I think he'd be phenomenal in whatever he does, to be honest. You can cast him as Spider-Gwen. I think he would knock it out of the park. I'm not kidding. Like, he's great at what he does. And I am all in for this. But and I let us know in the comments what you think, but I'd be all in, and the three of us would as well. What do we have next for news, Josh?
So we talked about Batman earlier. Well, let's talk about some Batman in the DCU. It's really, really heating up that Brandon Skinner indicates that DC Studios has called him potentially about starring as Batman. But I think he's backtracked a little bit. And from what I read earlier today in his comments is that, fans are talking about it. DC knows about it. It is a fan cast. And I'm going to tell you something. I think this is my pick. I think, if I had to go with somebody, and I know, I mean, that might be controversial, but if you watch Yellowstone 1923 and you see his acting and who he is, he would not only make a great Bruce Wayne, but he even was quoted as saying that he grew up, he loved Christian Bale's portrayal of Batman, and he would actually take that and turn it in and make it something even better. So I'm kind of hoping we get him cast. It sounds like, might be between him and Howard Richardson, and I kind of lean towards Brandon a little bit more, but just my opinion here, folks. Or cast me. I don't know. Just saying.
Jeez. I don't know this guy. I don't know anything that he's been in. I've never seen anything that he's been in. So I can't really say. But if he's going off Christian Bale's Batman, I'm not really a fan of Christian Bale's Batman. And I'm a huge, huge Christian Bale fan. But if he's basing it off of Christian Bale's Batman and Bruce Wayne, that's not the direction I want him to go in. That being said, maybe he's a really talented actor. Maybe he can do the part. I just have no opinions here.
I don't know this guy at all either. I don't watch any of the Yellowstone. I don't watch 1923, whatever. I thought Christian Bale was great as Batman. However, I don't want a retread of that. Like, I want something, whatever Gunn's going to bring, I want it to be new, fresh, and exciting. And you have somebody that's just going to stand in place and do an impression of Christian Bale being Batman. That's not something anybody's looking for. So either way, they're going to have to cast this character soon because there's a lot of projects coming up. I know they have to get over that mountain that is Superman and have that be successful before other things get greenlit for sure.
Yeah.
And that's a big mountain to climb. However, we're hearing some pretty good things and everybody's very excited about it. But at the same time, let's see. I don't know. Sure, I'd be okay if this guy was cast. Josh, I trust you, and we'll see from there. But we do have to move on to the next news story. And Joshua, what is it?
I thought we kind of said we weren't going to talk about this, Jeff.
Why would you do that? Now everybody's like, well, what were you going to talk about that you say you're not going to talk about now?
Wait till next week.
Yeah,
I'll just say this. We had a news story that we had kind of locked and loaded, but there's actually some developing information that just came out. So we're going to wait till next week to talk about this. It is not a spoiler or anything like that. It's actually more real world oriented. So make sure you come back next week and we can talk a little bit more in depth about it.
It's something that affects comic collectors and collectors of all sorts of things, So that's our little tease. Let's move on to the final three news pieces. Joshua.
Well, actually, rumors.
Right. Yeah. We should indicate them as such on the slates here. But okay, let's move on.
So Superman Day is going to be on the 18th in a few days, and it's possible that we might finally get the first official trailer. We have a teaser trailer for Superman. We'll have to see what happens. Gunn did say that a couple of weeks ago when he dropped the crypto footage, that he was finishing touches up on the first official trailer. We'll have to see what happens, but I expect, at least a new poster and possibly the first official trailer on the 18th, and maybe some other content. We'll have to see. But still, great. Like you guys said, great things are coming out about this. There was even one of the Warner Brother heads of entertainment came out and said that he recently saw a test screening of the film, and he literally said this is the first time that he saw a Superman movie since the Christopher Reeves films, and thought it inspired hope. It made him cry and made him more excited to see Superman than ever on the screen. So, yeah, we're going to see what happens with this film when it comes out.
Yep, this we've been saying it for what, like over a year, 2 years at this point, wherever we are. We hope this does well. I'm excited, for a kind of a reboot of the whole universe, kicking off of this movie. And yeah, we just got a couple months now. Jeff?
Yeah, I'm psyched too. I love what this executive is saying. However, again, he's selling a movie, and also we heard some similar things about The Flash, which sucked. I thought that was just garbage. So I'm not being a Debbie Downer here. I want this thing to succeed, and I hope it does. That's all I'll say about it. Joshua, what do we got next?
Yeah, so this is going to be good news, I think, for a lot of MCU fans. And I think it's something that's already kind of happened, but not the way it should have in previous films. And Magneto's Brotherhood of Mutants might actually be in Doomsday. And we might get a comic accurate Brotherhood. X-Men Last Stand, he kind of had a Brotherhood of Mutants, but none of the big players, obviously, like Charlotte Witch or Quicksilver, in there with him. And now that the MCU is back, and we're in the multiverse, and Quicksilver's dead, but if we're gonna bring back the Fox characters, we kind of already got one that's still alive. Charlotte Witch is out there somewhere supposedly, so we'll have to see what happens. And I actually kind of hope maybe we'll get at least a mention, or at least maybe a team up with this group, and I look forward to it if it happens.
Yeah, in my opinion, I mean, there are different iterations of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. It doesn't necessarily mean it's this first appearance from 1963 or 1964. We saw a team in the X-Men movies. We saw Mystique, we saw Toad. We could get Juggernaut again. Who knows? That being said, Juggernaut's not even a mutant, but that's beside the point. Everyone thinks he is. That being said, I don't really care who they bring back as long as it's a good movie. It doesn't matter if they, bring a lot of these characters back, or bring a few back, or even put some new ones in there. Make the movie good. That's all I care about.
100%. That's what it's all about. We want to see all of these films succeed because we love the genre. And I don't care what iteration of the Brotherhood of Mutants it would be, but it could be a little more PC and just be like the Brother and Sisterhood.
Ooh.
Right? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Anyways, moving on to our final news piece, which is DC related. What do we have?
We've talked about this quite a bit before, but it sounds like for sure from some inside sources, Clayface is obviously getting ready to start filming, and that Batman will appear in the film at some point. So we might end up getting, hopefully after Superman, if that does well in July, which I think I want to say August, September is when they're aiming to shoot Clayface. So we might actually, mid-year end up getting the DCU Batman, which I think we would get it by the end of this year. There's going to be an announcement because obviously everybody, we need to know. They need to announce that. So either way, hopefully this happens. I do think Batman needs to be a part of the Clayface film, at least show up towards the ending. You got to have some kind of connection there. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, this honestly could be a great segue. You know, there's a good chance that this movie, I almost certainly think that this will come out before the Batman 2, and this could just kind of be another stepping stone. You know, we got Batman 1, we got Penguin, we got Clayface, then we get Batman 2.
No, this is not related to the Matt Reeves films. This is in the DCU.
Are we sure about that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, they announced it.
Interesting.
Well,
It's set in,
disregard
it's set
everything.
in-
Else,
yeah.
but I'm an idiot.
Well, we know that, but we won't, and we also won't disregard what you said. But what I will say is, you know, we've seen. Just take Sony as an example for their films without the the main protagonist being Spider-Man, didn't do so well. That being said, Clayface is really interesting, way more interesting than Craven, Morbius, and maybe not so much Venom, but you know what I'm saying. Like, so I would love to see Batman involved in that as well. So we shall see. Joshua, man, you did a great job today. Okay, we only had to course correct you once, so you will be getting some sort of a demerit of some sorts. Our CFO, Josh here or Joe here, will administer that to you. But for now, we're not going to see you to the end of the show, and we hope you do okay. Is that all right?
I love you guys. I'll be here until the end.
We know
Until
you will.
to my heart's
Just delivers the news and rumors.
Man, again, something weird with his connection. He's
Yeah, I
just
don't know what's
dropped
going
out.
on with that. We gotta get that worked out at some point.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. Who knows?
I don't know. I think the show works just fine as it is. So,
Well, we got something great coming up here.
we
We've
do.
got something phenomenal.
do.
We've got something that we haven't done in a couple weeks, and we've
Mhm.
tried to be better about it in 2025.
Mhm.
And I feel like we've half succeeded with being better about it. So, Jeff, why don't you introduce who's coming on the show
Again,
tonight?
we have a guest co-host tonight. Well, the gentleman has to pass the interview, as you all know. Please welcome everybody, Jecky's Comics. He is our guest for episode 221. He's a comic book enthusiast, an optician with nearly 15 years of experience, vinyl collector and with some serious gems, a diehard Eagles fan.
Go Birds!
Go Birds!
Go Birds!
And someone who's been hitting the gym harder than most superheroes. So originally from Haiti, now repping the DMV. Please, everybody, welcome to the canon, Jecky, aka Jecky's Comics. How are you, Jecky?
What's going on, guys? What's going on?
World champs.
I got to fit it.
World champs. So here's the deal. As we do these things, their interviews, we take them very seriously. Okay. This is your interview to be a guest co-host on the canon. Okay. And I'm pretty sure you took it seriously as well, because you know we're the #1 show on YouTube. You're like super honored to be on here.
This is a great honor, right?
Yeah. And but again, this may be the last few minutes you'll ever be on the canon, because we may not be able to do this. And we want to know. Joe and I spoke a lot about this, because we don't give people preferential treatment who are diehard Eagles fans, because we are diehard Eagles fans as well. There will be no softballs thrown your way with this.
Okay. All right.
But before we start the interview, which I know you're really nervous about, can we see your palms? Are they sweaty?
A little bit.
I figured.
Yeah.
Let's just talk a little bit about who you are. I want to say that I first ran into you on TikTok. Just the way you break things down for beginners of comics, it's really well done. Y'all should be following Jecky on TikTok. Link is down below. He's also on Instagram, and you do have a YouTube page. It's not that active, though. Is that correct?
Not really. No.
Okay.
No. It's a work in progress.
That's fair. But everybody should follow Jecky, because again, you just simplify things to people who may not be into comics, but also make it really interesting for people who are. And I respect that. That's really well done. I don't see many people that do something like that. So kudos to you. I will say that again, not giving you props because you're an Eagles fan. But why don't you just let us know a little bit about your comic journey, how you got to that point?
All right. So I'm originally from Haiti. Like I said, I moved here when I was 16. And when I was a kid, I had an uncle who lived in the U.S. and we were really close. So he would just ship me his old comic books, I guess, not knowing that it would end up being valuable. So I started with some My first comic books, and they were very random. They weren't in order, so I would just get a box with just random comic books. So I would just keep reading them and reading them over and over again. And I started with some of those old X-Men by like with John Burns when it was the artist, and it was a little bit of Fantastic Four, but when they were more in space, it was just really random. And because they would come 3 or 4 boxes a year, you would just reread the same thing over and over again.
Yep.
So when I moved to the US, then I started collecting comic books myself. Last year, I decided to just commit to it long term and just really collect and getting into single issues and trades. And as I would talk to some of my friends, the topic would come up very often where like, I just don't know where to start. Like they're really interested and they're like, I just don't know where to start. It's kind of for people that have never collected comic books, it's a little intimidating. And so I was like, well, as I'm gonna collect comic books, it would be cool to have kind of like a page to help people navigate that world, because I think a lot of people don't start because they're a little intimidated, and that's kind of my story.
Yeah, that's awesome. When I started, I'm mainly Instagram at this point, but when I started, I kind of started things as a YouTube channel to begin with, and one of the first videos that I did was a beginner's guide to comic book vocabulary. So it was like all the terms from like something as simple as bags and boards to long box and short box and keys to, more in-depth things like different terms for condition issues on a book, from spine ticks to spine rolls and things like that, that are kind of more down the line. I kind of gave a brief overview, and I've always wanted to go back and do something like that. So now I have a challenge for you. Make that video for me so I don't have to do it.
All right. I got you. I just finished a video or editing a video where I talk about like different price points. Like, when you're committing to something long term, single issue versus trade versus omnibus, like if you're committing long term, the breaking down the price difference is pretty interesting. Even I was a little surprised how big the difference is when you commit to something single issues. Even though long term, you're actually spending a lot more money into it. So,
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
No, again, you break it down really well. I encourage everybody to follow Jecky on TikTok and Instagram. Really well done, especially if you have friends who are interested that Jecky, you had that same issue. It's like, where do I start with this, or this? Send Jecky's content over. They will.
Please.
You do a really good job again. By the way, Josh thinks that you shouldn't have to do the interview, and that's really not the case here because he likes the fact that you're wearing a Daredevil t-shirt. So don't get too excited, but he has no say. So we're going to get into the interview right now. I don't know how you're feeling.
All right, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Cut the pleasantries, okay? We were nice.
It's like the Sour Patch commercials, like first they're sweet and then you're gonna flip up.
Well, that's a really good analogy. And again, you're getting no favoritism here. We're not throwing any softballs your way.
All right,
okay,
let's go. I'm ready.
Joe, I'm going to take this if you're okay with that. I'm going to take this interview.
Be my guest. I'll be here operating the board.
Okay, please do. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. How old were you when you moved to the U.S. from Haiti?
I was 16.
That's right.
Hold on a second.
He got that.
Jeff, hold on a second.
What?
Jecky, can you excuse us for a second? Jeff, we said we were not going to give him softballs. We just asked something about his personal life that obviously he probably knows better than anyone else in the entire world.
Okay, well, let's get to the next question because I think you'll be like, okay, I see where you're going with this. Okay.
If you give this guy a pass just because he's an Eagles fan.
No, I'm not doing that. We talked about that. We can't do that.
All right. I'm bringing him back.
All right.
Hey, sorry about that. We just had a little sidebar there. Jeff, go ahead. Number 2.
How long have you been an optician?
Exactly. I think I'm right at 15 years.
That's correct. That is absolutely correct.
Jeff, again.
Got it.
Something in his personal life. You just asked him. That's not even a softball. That's like throwing a beach ball at someone with a giant fly swatter, and they just have to hit it.
Okay. Let's do this then. Let's do this. I'm going to rewrite it for you. Let's bring him back.
All right.
All right.
Sorry about that. We're back.
I'm killing it right now.
I think you're doing great. Joe has some issues here. We are very. This is not an easy interview for you. I could tell. But here we go. You're a diehard Eagles fan, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Who is Joe's favorite Eagle player of all time?
I would say Brian Dawkins.
Ooh, that is good. It's not correct, but I will give you a little hint. Oh, we're just kicking him off now?
Oh, I was just
I was just gonna give him a little hint. I was gonna give him a little tiny baby hint, a little tiny hint about how little tiny I am. I'm very short. I wouldn't say very short. I'm shorter than average, shorter than the average adult male.
So I'm saying Darren Sproles.
Oh, he's good. He's good. Oh, us short things. We're the same height. I got about a half an inch on Darren Sproles. He's 5'6".
You're faster than he is, though, right? You're faster than he is, Joe.
Has to be.
Listen,
I can tell from here. I can tell from here that man's got speed.
I'm not saying that I would beat him in a foot race 100% of the time, but at least 68% of the time.
That's fair. That's definitely
fair. I actually met Brian Westbrook. Like I met Brian Westbrook. That was pretty dope.
Westbrook's great.
He seems like he'd be a cool guy, like very chill, right?
Yeah, very. Yeah, it was very quick. Like, hi, love your stuff. Like very quick, but he was really nice about it. Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, a legend, Eagles legend. All right, the last question here. We thought this was going to go a little different here, but you're going to have to guess my favorite Eagle of all time.
Your favorite Eagle of all time. All right. I already said Brian Dawkins.
And you're right. You did it. You did it. We showed you no favoritism, and you aced this thing.
Killed it.
One of the best interviews of all time. You make the comic book canon Hall of Fame, Joe.
I have to check the bylaws here because this just seems like a little too easy. And listen, hold on.
It's a brotherhood, so
at least let me do this. Okay, he's off for now.
Okay,
I missed that. One of my favorite things about guests is kicking them off and being an ass to them, and we didn't get to do it to this guy. What's the deal?
We kicked him off. He didn't get Darren Sproles, right?
Yeah, I mean, he got it on the comeback.
Whatever. All right, just bring him in. Let's do the show. This is going to be the best episode of all time.
Go Birds. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Go Birds. All right. Well done. You are now going to be a guest co-host throughout the end of the show. This show is yours as much as it is ours. So please interject. Please have fun. Please make fun of people. Again, and make friends. This community is awesome. You will see that as the show goes on. We have a great group of people and a lot of fun here. So with that said, you're going to be part of the next segment. It's very simple. We'll explain the rules to you once we roll this song that everybody loves. So,
Ask Joe, ask Joe, ask Joe, 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 ask Joe, whoa, and Jeff.
I may have messed up by not saying hello to the community first, so everybody can get their Ask Joe and Jeff.
Well, do it now. Put your questions in the chat while Jeff says hello to all these wonderful members of the comic book canon community.
Please do that. We got Spud Comics in the house. Spud was here early today, and we were late. So we appreciate you for that. We got T-Shoe. We got the Judge, a.k.a. Dan De La Torre. Kate's Comics is in the house. Derek Neiman is in the house. Caleb Leland, a.k.a. Cable Leland, in the house as well. Y'all know Josh was in the house. T-Shoe is here. Mike Hags is here as well. Goonish Lurker. Hey. Who else do we have? We got Raw Dog Comics in the house. Brian Klotz is here in the house. Nukes Comics is here in the house. Jordan Norrie is here. He's eagerly awaiting Thunderbolts. I think he's in line right now. Biggest Thunderbolts fan of all time. I said Brian Klotz, but I'll say you again. What's happening? I think did we hit everybody? I don't think so. There's a lot of people here. Heroes Were Born in the house. Lizzie Schubert in the house. Who else? Anxiously Watching. I love that name. You're in the house. Elizabeth Schubert, I think I said, is in the house. It looks like a different avatar, but that's okay. We will still take it. This chat is super active. I'm trying to get caught up to the top. Kaboom Comics. Yo, I can't wait to show off your fresh from the comic shop, by the way, Kaboom. I cannot wait. Dr. Plagueis in the house. Everybody should be watching Dr. Plagueis Plagueis' show every Tuesday night, 9:30 Eastern time. And that looks like we covered a good ground there. A lot of people. So we're going to get to the questions. Joe, can we bring you and Jecky back in?
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. Hold on 1 second. Is this the button?
Oh,
That's
God.
the button.
I'm surprised you took us all out. But yeah, okay. So we got Kate's Comics. We're going to start. Everybody put your questions in for Ask Joe and Jeff and Jecky. Ask Joe, who is your favorite underrated comic character? Ooh, that's a very broad, general question.
That is honestly, that's a really tough one because there's a lot of characters that only have, a few appearances or they're supporting. I will say this, and I've said this before. I actually did an entire YouTube video about that poor guy, the Jackal, Miles Warren. He is a Spider-Man villain who, is initially a professor, and then he ends up going kind of crazy and cloning Peter and all this stuff. And he's just done so much, including obviously creating the clone is such a major point that led to so much stuff. But he is terribly, terribly overshadowed in the comics. His first appearance as Dr. Miles Warren is also the first appearance of Gwen Stacy and Harry Osborn. So he's completely overshadowed there. Then way later, almost 100 issues later, he becomes the Jackal in Amazing Spider-Man 129, the first appearance of the Punisher. Once again, completely overshadowed. Right. Then he, the whole cloning thing happens. He's pretty, during the Bronze Age, he's pretty intermittently dispersed throughout the comics. He's even on a couple of covers. And then the issue before the clone is revealed, he's killed off, dead. And then immediately overshadowed by the fact that there's a clone of Peter running around and all this stuff. So just massively forgotten character, overshadowed by a bunch of other major characters.
I'm going to let Jecky go, but I do want to point out that was an amazing answer, and I don't think either of ours are going to
I'm like, man, that's you set me up coming after.
I did my research on that one.
You broke that down. Jecky, what do you got?
This is a character I think I just don't like how she's portrayed right now. Kitty Pryde.
Okay.
I think if they used her more as a street level hero, just how difficult that would be. I think they did it briefly in Korokoa, where she was kind of like an assassin for a bit, and I think I love that, and I wish they would use that more, because if you can't hit her and you can't touch her, and she can always hit you, that's a pretty hard set of skills to get over. You know what I mean? And I wish, but whenever they put her with the X-Men, she's kind of in the background, whereas that's actually not an easy person to take out, even especially if they make her actually formidable physically. They give her a little bit more skill. But yeah, I just thought of that right now off the top of my head. But
I think that Kitty Pryde is certainly one of my all-time favorite X-Men characters, and she just, especially what we've seen in the movies, she's almost not been used, barely been used.
Yeah,
and not. Yeah, I hope that this new iteration of the X-Men that we're clearly going to get fixes that.
Yeah.
From all that we're hearing, there's a good chance of that with Kitty Pryde, and that's another great answer. I'm going to go DC here, actually, and I'm going to go Booster Gold. I think Booster Gold is absolutely one of those underrated characters, and I think within the comic community, not so much, but mainstream, people do not know much about Booster Gold. He's been in a few animated series here and there, but I do believe a guy like James Gunn cannot wait to put him on the screen.
Oh,
he's going to have so much fun.
That's right up his alley. That's right.
Exactly. So I don't think this character, and again, I don't think Kitty Pryde, if they include Kitty Pryde in the X-Men or however they would do it with Marvel, I think she would blow up too. And I love the take of a street level hero, Kitty Pryde. But I think Booster Gold will have mainstream success, and I think that would be a fun character to see on the big screen, and done right, because James, I believe in James Gunn, as opposed to one person who does not. All right, how about this?
Who's that person?
Yeah, we're gonna bring this person in. This is the Honorable Dan De La Torre. He is our judge for Fresh from the Comic Shop. So, Jecky, please, he gives us the wisdom in the canon, and
Hello.
we sometimes he does a live question each week. So, Your Honor, what question do you have for the team here?
I have to reset my mind. I was deep in a Stan Lee story right here. So again, great reading here. It's
We
great.
pay him a retainer, and he's sitting there reading comic
Sorry,
books
I'm
during the
sorry.
show.
I couldn't help it. So here we go.
Bogus.
All right.
Unreal, dude.
Okay. Anyway, Miles Morales was introduced almost 15 years ago. He's been a huge impact in Marvel. And one of the questions I've had for the last number of years is why has he not been introduced in the MCU? I mean, the Spider-Man movies have come and gone. Not even a mention of him. The last one, the third Spider-Man, when they had the multiverse, was a perfect opportunity to bring him in. And the future in for many young people is Miles, not Peter Parker. And I was thinking about why, he hasn't been brought in. And I thought, well, wait a minute. Maybe it's a money thing. Because Spider-Man, yes, you have your hand up.
I'm just doing, like in meetings, you just put your
Let
hand
the
raised.
guy finish his question.
All right. As if I wasn't interrupted. I was thinking, why hasn't he been introduced as yet into the MCU? And I thought, wait a minute. Spider-Man, the Peter Parker Spider-Man, is one of the most recognized characters in the entire world. And Marvel still makes a fortune on this character. T-shirts and video games and whatever, toys for galore. And if they switched over to Miles, who is at the moment a far less recognized character, they might lose a fortune on this. And maybe this is not the best analogy, but I remember back in the day as an old video game player, because I was alive and well when Pong showed up, and I've been playing video games ever since, by the way. I do have a history. But when Nintendo had their Game Boy, it was, again, a wild success, and they made a fortune on that. But then technology got to the 16-bit, the 32-bit, but Nintendo did not upgrade. And the reason why was because the video game makers were still making 8-bit games, so they didn't want to, upset the gravy train. So I just wanted thoughts from all three of you. Do you think that's why they've been dragging their feet, bringing in a very popular character like Miles Morales? Is that a money thing? Is that the hesitation?
So
I'm gonna jump in real quick and give you a 4-letter word, SONY. Sony has the rights to Spider-Man. Yeah. Sony has a pretty incredible property with the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Sony wants to see how that plays out before allowing Marvel to bring in a live action character. Now, with us fans clamoring for a live action Miles, that's going to happen sooner rather than later. Because Sony, other than Spider-Verse, Sony really doesn't know what to do with Spider-Man and all villains and IPs. So trust me, it's going to be a cash cow when Miles makes his live action appearance. I just wanted to jump in and say that. I had to say it immediately. I'm sorry, Joe and Jecky. No, I'm not.
It's all good.
No, I'm
it's
not
all
sorry.
good.
Not sorry.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely something I was going to touch on. I do want to go back because you did say that there's no even mention of Miles, but there actually has been a mention of Miles in the MCU. At the end credit scene of one of the Spider-Man movies, I think it was Far From Home. I think we got Donald Glover, who has both voiced Miles and also played Miles' uncle in live action. I think voiced him too. I forget. Anyway, he's done a bunch as those characters. He was on the phone with his nephew, who he referred to as Miles. And there's certain, I think there's been some other references, like smaller ones than that as well. But it is exactly what Jeff said. They're trying to milk the Tom Holland thing as long as possible and make that go while Sony has the Spider-Verse thing going. They don't want to split Miles into live action and animated at the same time. And the live action movies are doing well. And obviously the upcoming one has been pushed back a bunch and is getting pushed back again, as we heard a couple weeks ago. But if that movie is good and they keep doing them, it's probably going to be a little bit longer of a wait. One of those things that, like I've said before, I don't mind the wait as long as it's a good product. So fingers crossed. Let's hope it works out. But yeah, I totally agree with you where you say that it's the future, because a lot of my, I have friends that have kids and stuff like that. And if you ask them who's Spider-Man, some will say Miles, some will say Peter, some will say both.
Yeah.
And, that's what they know. That's what they've grown up with, watching Spidey and His Amazing Friends, or, the Spider-Verse movies. I think more kids are watching, Into the Spider-Verse and stuff like that than are watching the Tom Holland movies. We have a Tom Holland movie coming out next year, and we have him appearing, in at least we think, appearing in the Avengers movies. And there was a rumor that there was actually 3 more Tom Holland movies. So we'll have to see about that. I don't know. And if they do, I think they'll probably use that opportunity to end that character's arc, end Peter's arc, and bring Miles in maybe in the 3rd movie. That's what I think.
Jecky.
So I think the smart thing to do would be to have them both there at the same time, because Tom Holland has already said that he plans on retiring from acting anyways, right? So I would almost bring him in where there's 2 Spider-Man, where you kind of have one mentor the other, and kind of like pass the baton that way. And maybe like for a while have the 2, and maybe like some movies where they're together, for some movies they do their own thing and kind of take it from there. And I think I'm guessing that's why we haven't seen them yet. I think they need to find the right time. Secret Wars or Doomsday would be the perfect time to plug him in. But who knows? But I think it feels like it's time, though. It definitely feels like it should be coming soon, especially with if Tom Holland plans on retiring from acting.
Great.
But then
point.
again, Robert Downey Jr. also looks retired. Like, you show someone enough money, they will come back. So
that's true.
I take that with a grain of salt.
Joe, let me follow up one last question. You said mentioned a name. Is it the same actor who's in the video game who plays Miles Morales in the PS PlayStation game?
I don't know. I don't play video games. So
I don't know
who
he's in the
voices
video
him.
game.
Okay, the reason why I mentioned that, my daughter and I met that guy at the San Francisco Fan Expo. He obviously has the voice that everyone recognizes as Miles Morales, and if you've not seen him, he's a perfect Miles Morales. I told him, so I said, look, you're already recognized regarding your voice. You've got the build for this. You've got the profile for this. He's a perfect segue. Of course, he laughed about it. But he said, "Yeah, I'd love to do it." So the actor is already there.
Right.
That's my recommendation. Just move this gentleman forward because he's good.
You don't think that would go a little younger, maybe? Because he's
that's
probably
what I
He looks young though. He doesn't look old.
He's in
He
his
looks
30s, Dan. They want somebody to bring
he
in.
might be taller than Tom Holland already. So.
I don't.
They
think
need a
that's-
teenager.
They
Yeah,
definitely
I would have
do.
I'm trying to
get
look
someone
this
a
guy
little
up. I'm
younger.
not sure who it is, but
Yeah, he said he's wanted to play in the live action. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I want to play Miles in the live action. I
Well,
don't
the
think
problem, I'll throw you end on this. The problem with having a younger actor, they don't have the presence. They don't have the wherewithal. They don't have the tenacity as an older actor who has more presence. This guy, again, I would go with this guy because he has that youthful look. And you've had older actors over the many, many years and decades in Hollywood play teenage characters, and they pull it off because, again, they have the acting chops. This guy does.
yeah, I don't.
Denzel Washington would kill
Yeah.
him as Miles.
That little old Josh. Thank you.
I am very fine. It
Thanks
doesn't
for
have to
Josh
be a.
destroying my idea.
It doesn't have to be a 14 or a 15-year-old.
No.
Which is where Miles should be. But an 18, 19, 20-year-old. Look at Kamala Khan. You can't say that someone doesn't. Teenagers, young kids, young actors don't have the presence.
The
When
chops,
Kamala
yeah.
Khan is the best thing to come to the MCU since Endgame.
True, this is true, but they're hard to find. They're really hard to find.
And I think Marvel has done an amazing job in their casting department. That has been consistently really good. They've missed way less than they've hit. So I trust them as well. I don't think this is the guy. But I know, Dan, you're very opinionated. So
I am opinionated. And one last thing, don't let Josh on the show anymore. Just we'll wait for next week. He's done.
you could have some papers where he's subpoenaed or something like that. It has to appear.
I'm on it
somewhere
right
else.
now. I'll see you guys later.
Make that happen. All right, Judge. We'll see you a little bit. Oh, you just kicked
You
Jecky
were the
off.
wrong person. Come on. man.
Wow. Oh my God, this is embarrassing.
Oh, you actually kicked him out of the room.
I didn't kick him out of the room. Something must have happened. Well, that's interesting. Well, let's ask the next Ask Joe question. while I email Jecky. That wow, that's weird. All right, go for it.
Josh, did you see where he went?
No, I don't have any.
There's
All
no
right,
way
cool.
we can kick him off.
No,
There's no way we
that's
can
so
kick
weird.
him off like where he's gone.
Yeah. Huh.
Maybe it's
Okay.
the blip.
Next Ask Joe question. I don't remember where we were. We were at Kate. Yep. Here we go.
Oh my
Kate.
God.
Boom. I got it. We're good. We're good. Ask Joe, who is your favorite
No, we already
underrated?
did this.
We did this one? Oh, we did this one. You're right.
Next one is Spud.
No, Spud. Okay. Boom. There we go.
Oh, actually, sorry. It's you're a mess.
We're a
Where'd you
mess.
go, Jecky? If you could join one superhero or supervillain team for a day, which team would you be picking and why?
Oh man, the X-Men. It's just such a cool, like they're my favorite team by far. It's just such a cool setup where they have this school that's kind of like guiding and training these young mutants, and then some of them end up becoming members of the elite team. There he is. He's
Sorry
no,
about
come
that,
on,
guys.
No worries. We were
My bad.
like, we thought it was the blip. But oh, he's frozen. Uh-oh.
Yeah, but look at that smile.
He looks great, everybody.
That's a
Just
nice, that's a great
You guys
headshot,
hear me?
right?
yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
You doing
Okay.
all right?
All
There
right,
we go.
I think I'm back.
All right, don't change anything.
Yeah, I think I'm back. All right, my bad. Yeah,
Don't,
my bad.
that's okay. It's more than okay. You're an Eagles fan. We love you.
Oh,
Okay, so here's the question. This is for you too, Jecky. If you could join one
Okay.
superhero or supervillain team for a day, which team are you picking and why?
which team? Oh, that's a good one. Which team? Superhero or supervillains? I think I'll probably go. That's hard. I'm leaning towards supervillain team just because they have a little more fun. But you know what? Let me see. I'll probably just do the Avengers, honestly. I know that's a very basic answer. She got me on the spot, but I think I'll do the Avengers. The X-Men, just life is too hard for an X-Men, so that's
true.
a lot. So
Avenger,
that's
you're not paying for drinks in any town you're in, right? In the world.
right. You got the nice mansion, and I don't want
Yeah.
to be in space in the Watchtower for the Justice League. So the nice mansion, Butler, I'm good. I think Avengers sounds like a pretty good life for me.
I'm going to tell you who
What
I'm
about you
going to
guys?
be, and it's very I'd say it's very noble of me. It would be the Thunderbolts, so I can get Nori Jordan into the film, into the premiere.
Sure, yeah.
So, by the way, Nori Jordan is the biggest Thunderbolts fan you will ever meet. I'm not even exaggerating. He has 53, 54 issues of #1 alone, right, Joe?
Sure.
Anyways,
No, I think it's like in the 60s now.
It's insane. It's insane. But anyways, Nori, let us know how many you have now. All right. Next up, we have we got Spud. Ask the Bearded Boys. That's us, I guess. What has been your favorite read, or what do you recommend most? Who wants to take this first?
This is tough. Favorite read. I mean, there's so many good comic books.
Yeah, but you guys know where I'm going. Jecky, maybe not, but I talk about this every week.
You're gonna talk about the Energon universe.
Well, it's Energon
okay.
and Ghost Machine. I love Geiger. I love Geiger.
I was a little late to that shit, but I'm catching up now. It's so good. Like that Transformers got me. I've never been like a Transformers like comic book guy. I watched the movies, but like that Transformers, I grabbed it. I read the trade, and I was like, oh no, I don't want to wait for that trade. I'm gonna have to.
Hell yeah, it's that good. It's that good. So
yeah, it was really good.
My answer is very easy. Chris Claremont's 16-year epic run on X-Men from 1975 to 1991.
Oh man.
You get a decade and a half of comic books out of that
Yeah.
one, and it's just character development and introduction and conflict and resolution and more conflict and more resolution. It's so good.
I don't know if you properly answered us, Jecky, unless you're just agreeing with me.
Right now I'm really enjoying Absolute Batman. I'm really enjoying that. Like Scott Snyder is killing it right now. I'm really like the new Mr. Freeze. Like I enjoyed that. That was a great issue. like Black Mask has always been, speaking of underrated, Black Mask I've always loved as a villain. So like
Yeah.
seeing that version of Black Mask and like Psychopath Batman, I love it.
Yeah, definitely Psychopath Batman. It's an interesting read. Love it as well. All right, we're going to move on to the next question. Derek Neiman, how will they kill off Magneto in Secret Wars? I don't know.
Oh, it's a how question, not will they.
Not right.
How will
wait,
they?
do you know something?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think he's talking about Ian McKellen, who's probably been killed off 2 or 3 times at this point as Magneto.
Yeah.
So I, Jim, old age.
Yeah. And Jim knows about old age.
Oh God. Should we bring our Adam Schefter of the canon in to discuss this quickly?
Yeah.
No, because he's going to give a spoiler, and that's not.
He's so good at doing that.
He's not. No spoilers.
Or he's that guy who just calls it.
Yeah. Oh, he loves it. He loves it. He wants to know everything before he sees the movie.
He's one of those people that there's just no shame. He's Googling like Avengers Doomsday spoilers every single day. He does not want anything to be a surprise. He does not care. How will they kill him? Very likely he'll this is just a guess. He will sacrifice himself.
Yeah, I think that's
so.
It's perfect for the character. Sacrificing himself for the greater good of both humanity and mutant kind. We'll go mutant kind.
There we go. That sounds great. Mutanity. Okay,
mutanity. I made up a word there. I put it in the dictionary. Thank you.
All right.
Canon.
Yeah.
It's canon.
Sorry. Go ahead, Jecky.
I think Doom would kill him. I think Doom is gonna like power through a lot of people's, like if they have him, if they do a proper God Doom, I think he's gonna power through a lot of people. Like I don't think there's just. I hope they do the scene with Thanos when he like grabbed him and pulled his like skeleton out. But it's just and like obliterated. You know, it's like oh my god. But I think Doom is gonna power to a lot of people. So
yeah, I agree with that. I don't know. It's really hard to say. Like, is this finally the swan song for these X-Men? I don't know. We thought a few movies before were. I don't know. Derek, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. We're going to move on to the next question. From Caleb, ask Joe and Ken and crew, would it be better to spend the cash to grade books I want to offload, or are raw books selling better in this market? That's a Joe question for sure.
Yeah, this is definitely a Joe question. And don't forget, we are having a state of the market episode sometime in the next few weeks. I have one more convention that I'm selling at, which will be my 7th convention in 2 months. 2 months and a week or something like that. So I'm going to be doing a whole state of the market thing. But to answer this question, graded books are selling less quickly than they were during the comic boom, but they're still selling very amply. In fact, 2 weeks ago, I went to a convention with 10 full slab boxes, approximately 250 slabs.
Wow.
I did that convention and a YouTube sale where I mostly put up graded comics. And between those two, I went from 10 down to 7. So I sold about 75 slabs.
Damn.
I think it was probably about 40 to 45 at the convention and about 30 to 35 at the claim sale that I did. This past weekend, I want to say it was a slower show. It wasn't as big of a buying group at the show, and I think I still sold 5 or 6 slabs. So slabs are definitely selling. You have to have the things that people want, though. You have to have the solid stuff in a decent grade. You have to have if it's 90s and above, it's got to be a 9.8. If it's 80s, it's got to either be like a really nice key or a 9.8. So you can't. It's not like you can just kind of grade anything like people were trying to do during the comic boom. To me, I assess this on a book by book basis. If I know that something is an easy sell, I might just sell it raw. if I know that something, in order to get kind of the money out of it that I want, I need to get it graded and get top dollar, then I'll do that. If it's a book that people typically want graded versus typically want in, a mid-grade condition to read or whatever, then I can decide if I want to sell it raw or get it graded.
As I've talked about before, Jecky, you may not know this. I'm not one to actively look for graded books. I've sent a few of mine in here and there. EGS is one for sentimental purposes, but I'm not one. So I don't really have a horse in this race. I really don't have much information that will be of value. Jecky, I'm not sure if you delve into graded comics as well.
Not yet. Not yet. I will eventually, but not yet. I haven't jumped in there yet. So I'm interested. I have a few things that I would be curious to see and like what grade it would get. And but yeah, I have the Age of Apocalypse X-Men, like I have the full series. Yeah. So that Weapon X one when Wolverine is on fire falling. I love that cover. So I have a few where I'm like curious to see what's gonna happen with that, but I haven't sent them in yet.
Yeah, it's interesting for for cheaper books. Sometimes it is better to just buy an already graded copy. If you want, if you want a 9.8 of a book, a lot of times you're just better off just spending the 40, 50, 60 bucks to get a 9.8 than to buy a raw copy for a couple bucks, pay the shipping to send it in, pay the fee to get it graded, pay the shipping to come back, and you're not even guaranteed a 9.8 on that one.
Right. That's a good point.
You might get it. So it really depends. I mean, my personal collection, my Golden Age stuff is graded. Some of my Silver Age stuff and Bronze Age stuff is graded. Most of my modern stuff is not graded. Most of my more recent stuff is kept raw. That's just how I am.
Yep. We may have had Jecky freeze again. Oh, there you are. You're back. You're back.
One more question.
We have one more question before we wrap this segment up, and it's from Nukes, who's always asking great questions. Ask Joe and Jeff and Jecky, how would you introduce Franklin Richards into the MCU? Is the upcoming Fantastic Four too soon? I'll tell you how. Sue's already pregnant with Franklin in the movie, so that's already out there.
Oh, I was going to go back a little bit further and say, when a man loves a woman, when a stretchy man loves an invisible woman very, very much, they do a special kind of a fantastic hug. And when they do their fantastic hug, a super powerful baby is sometimes born of that hug. And then we go from there. I think I'm pretty sure. I think there's been a lot of rumors that we're going to be seeing Franklin either in the womb or outside of the room or both during the movie. Kind of makes sense. There's a lot that they can do with the character, and whether we, kind of get a glimpse of it and then see more later, or if it's like a main thing of the movie, who knows? All I know is that movie is now right about 3 months away, and I
can't wait. I can't wait. That's a great question, Nukes. But again, it's going to be interesting. Everything's going to be interesting with the Fantastic Four, especially how they come into the main universe of the MCU. Very excited for that. But this was an amazing segment of what do we call it?
Ask Joe. Ask Joe. Ask Joe. Joe. Ask Joe. Whoa! And Jeff.
And Jecky. That's right. That was Ask Joe and Jeff with Jecky. We'll have another fantastic segment next week. But here we have another segment we do called Did You Know, Jecky? Did you know that we have a segment called Did You Know?
No, I did not know that you have a segment called Did You Know?
You do now. And we dig up little nuggets of comic book history, some interesting little facts. And this one should appeal to a lot of people, especially all you Jason Momoa fans, considering we're going to see Lobo on the big screen sooner rather than later. This one is about Lobo and his origins.
Did you know Lobo was created as a parody, but fans took him seriously? In Omega Men #3, DC introduced a spacefaring bounty hunter named Lobo. He was ultra-violent, cigar-chomping, leather-clad, and absurdly aggressive, which is exactly the point. Lobo wasn't supposed to be cool, he was a joke. Co-creator Keith Giffen has said he created Lobo to mock the popularity of violent anti-heroes like Wolverine, and The Punisher. Lobo was a walking satire of everything over the top in comics. Cartoonish brutality, edge for the sake of edge, and a complete lack of morals. But here's the twist. Fans loved it. Instead of laughing at the parody, they embraced it. By the early 90s, Lobo had his own miniseries, became a breakout star, and even went toe-to-toe with Superman. DC leaned into it, marketing him as the main man, a hyper-violent icon who was too extreme not to root for. So, what do you think? Did fans miss the joke? Or was Lobo just too badass to be contained by satire? Let us know in the comments. Sometimes, the punchline becomes the headline, especially when it's holding a chain and riding a space bike.
Now, a lot of people didn't know that he was a parrot. Joe, what were you doing during that? Did you know?
Well, as you know, I try to take every opportunity to make any money I can off of this, and one of my recent deals, my recent sponsorships. Unfortunately, I couldn't cut you into this, Jeff. It was just me that they wanted. We are now sponsored, or rather, I am sponsored by Kirkland protein bars. 21 grams of protein, only 2 grams of sugar, and 10 grams of net carbs. Available in massive bulk size at any Costco. These things are delicious.
Costco.
Chocolate brownie flavored. There's also cookie dough flavored. I usually get the double pack of both of them. Just 10 out of 10 would recommend. Thank you.
Just to be clear, this is Kirkland is sponsoring not the Cannon, but Joe.
Yeah, I tried to cut you in, but they weren't interested.
Got it. Okay, that's
They say you don't appeal to the youth audience. I think it's because you're old as shit.
Jecky, who's older between the two of us? I know he's talking a lot.
Oh no, man! You got the grays, man. I don't know, man. Sorry, bro.
You know he doesn't dye his beard.
Oh, that's true. That's
yeah.
true.
There we go. All right, we're gonna move on from this. This is getting really awkward right now. That explains why Joe is so. That's not true. Come on. All right, here we go. So we are in the home stretch, everybody. The home stretch, fresh from the comic shop. The segment you all know and love. You guys send in your fresh gets. We show them off here. We like to have a welcome post shot, a unique book, something that pulls at our heartstrings, tell us a story about it. All of those things. We're gonna explain it to you in a song. But Jecky, you are judging this, right? You are judging this on 3 criteria. We'll explain everything to you in a little bit. Also, I hope you brought like three books you just picked up as well to show off. Is that the case?
I thought you meant like things that were released this week or just books in general.
Just books in general. Well, this week, actually. Whatever you picked up this week, whether it be a 40-year-old book or a book that's 2 days old.
It doesn't have been released this week.
Yeah, I thought you meant like from this week. But I got some for you. I got a few.
Great.
I'm good.
Show us whatever you want, man. You're an Eagles fan. We'll let you do whatever.
Yeah, well, exactly. You could show us a Wawa hoagie. We'll freaking stand up and give you a standing ovation. So here's the explanation for Go Birds. Go for fresh from the comic shop.
Fresh from the comic shop. Your collection's treasures ready to pop. It's time to share. Don't let it flop. Fresh from the comic shop. Take a shot, make it bright, give it style and flair. Show a book that's unique, something rare out there. Tell us why it matters, what's the story behind. Pull at our heartstrings and you'll surely shine.
Sponsored by Crafty Comics, where collections flex their style. Museum quality slabs and displays with 99% UV protection. Because your fresh gets deserved the spotlight.
That's right, fresh from the comic shop. Jecky showing us a little different angle. He likes to, get artistic with the way he is perceived on his camera. No big whoop. So again, we're gonna have some announcements actually about a new sponsor. Well, we're gonna have announcements about a sponsor for Fresh from the Comic Shop. Notice I took out new. Things are being worked out, and it's very exciting. We already have 3 winners. for, well, obviously January, February, and March. We're working on April. So hopefully we're retroactively going to be getting those prizes to you all. Jecky, so you know, we have a monthly winner that leads up to a yearly big book of the year winner. It's a big deal. So again, as a judge, you're looking for a well-composed shot, something that's creative, outside the box, and fun. It could also be a unique book. Unique doesn't mean it has to be $30,000, right, Joe? No.
It does not. It could be $1.
It could be a sketch cover, what have you, that you've never seen before, because that's unique. There's only one and one. And then something that pulls at our heartstrings, somebody telling us a story about this book, what it means to them, reminds them of a family member, or, the first book they pulled off the rack, etc. So we'll let you know who is eligible and who is not eligible. But before we get into that, we have an announcement here as to who won for March. Let's just go over January's Mons right here with the Amazing Predator, that kind of tribute to his dad. We have Dr. Plagueis with the amazing lighting here for Green Lantern. And we had, for March, we had Kate's Comics go up against Super Crispy.comics. Super Crispy won over the Madonna with the Comic-Con at 40. So that is our March winner. Great job there, Super Crispy. Also, we have our 2024 book of the year that we like to coincide with March Madness. However, it's getting really busy with all this voting and stuff. We needed to give it a little bit of a break. So we have in the A bracket, we have Mike Haggs, who's waiting to see who wins from the B bracket against Super Crispy and Kaboom, which is kind of crazy. They're friends in San Diego. Kaboom drew the cover for Super Crispy's submission, so they're going up against each other. Lots of fun there. All right, so that covers that. We're going to get into it. Are you ready, Jecky?
Let's do it.
Let's do it indeed. We're going to start off with Mark Lineker. Mark Lineker says, Two Gun Kid, number 77, from 1965. It's a prototype Black Panther appearing many months before Fantastic Four 52. This is a scarcer Marvel Silver Age key and even lower grade. I'm going to spend $12 on it. Caveat venditor. I'm not that well read to know what that means.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm glad it was just me.
I don't just you. So we like to break things up here. Jecky, what do you got for your first fresh get of the week?
Let's see. So I thought we're doing this week's releases.
It's all good, man. You show whatever.
Whatever.
Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell. The first
issue,
a different variant cover. And I love this issue and can't wait for the next one. And I loved just the art here with old Matt Murdock, and it's just great writing. The art's beautiful. I'm really excited about this series.
This is a mini series, right?
Yeah, it's a mini series. I think it's just gonna be only 3. It's only 3. There's just 3. Okay. And there's no ads or anything. It's just straight comic books. There's no ads.
Oh, really? That's great.
All right, this is a perfect thing. If you are out there and you've been hyped on Daredevil Born Again and you want to read some Daredevil content, basically no commitment here. You got 3 issues. You're not getting bombarded by ads. This sounds like a great purchase. So go out to your local comic store, support them, and let us know what you think.
Yep.
I was just at my LCS today and picked up my pull list, and I forgot to put that on there, and I'm really disappointed in myself. However, Joe, this would be like perfect for you. Remember, you said you were going to pick up some new issues to start reading.
I'm going to be at my comic store tomorrow for Magic the Gathering night, so I will probably pick that book up.
That's a good one right there. That's a good one. All right, moving on. You better be taking notes, Jecky. Okay. This is you. This is your.
You got to pick the winner.
Yeah. So keep that in mind.
All right.
All right. Who do we have? We got Kate's Comics. That Madonna submission was awesome. It was a close race, but Super Crispy won. But Kate's got a cool book here. Second appearance, the Atom number 19 from 1965, second appearance as Zatanna, and first cover appearance. In this story, Zatanna continues her search for her father, Zatara, with the help of the Atom in the pages of a book. Unfortunately, they are unsuccessful after discovering that the druid exiled him, but kept mum on his whereabouts. We are talking about underrated characters over on the Comic Underground, a show that Kate's on, by the way. today, and I think Zatanna is one of them. Come on, James Gunn, put her in the DCU. Who is the most underrated comic character? Join the combo in the comic underground. I think Kate gave us that question today. Thank you, Robot Pick Comics, for a great copy of Zatanna's our first cover appearance. Thank you, Comic Ozzy, for the credit. Well done there, Kate. That's a nice looking book right there. Joseph, your first fresh get of the week.
All right. I typically do not buy stuff like this. This is a random cash grab variant cover. That is all this is. This is from an indie run called Fame, where they do like biographies of celebrities. It is not at all something that I normally would buy. This is the kind of stuff that you see like people shelling out on whatnot for, and like it leaves a bad taste in my mouth because no one really cares. Think about the Do You Poo stuff that we've seen. Like, it's so silly. But I had to buy this because this is just such a sick cover. This is actually a Vincent D'Onofrio biography
cover. Is nice, dude.
I could care less about what's in this. I bought this for the cover. Fortunately, I got it at a dealer rate, and they only printed 100 of them, limited to 400.
That cover is sexy, man.
Like, that's so nice, sick, right?
Yeah, you should see it in person because it's like, Jecky, it's got the perforated. Is that the way to explain it, Joe? It's like it's got texture to it.
Embossed. It's embossed.
It's an amazing looking book. Like, beautiful.
Oh, yeah,
I actually got that a couple weeks ago. Jeff was there at the Elite Comic Expo, and I totally forgot about it. It was just sitting in a box that I hadn't opened from a month ago, and I found it this week, and I was like, "Oh, I got to show this off." So I cheated a little bit.
Volume is? It's not even a Daredevil.
It's not a Daredevil book. It is an indie book called Fame. Vincent. Wait,
it's
Vincent
not.
D'Onofrio. It is not a Daredevil book. No.
Huh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's a beautiful.
That's crazy.
Cover,
that's just crazy.
Really good looking cover. Well done there, Joseph.
Yeah, that's an amazing cover. Yeah.
Next,
that's one of those you just put on a wall somewhere. That's art. That's art.
That's the plan. That's the plan. Yeah.
That's gonna pop. You light it correctly, and that thing is gonna pop. We're gonna build you a new studio, by the way. Next up, we got Mike Hags, who is in the finals, by the way, the Fresh from the Comic Shop Book of the Year finals. What's good, my awesome comic friends? I seen the prompt for the above mentioned. I didn't copy and paste that. Anyways, above mentioned gentlemen and their incredible cover art challenge, Draw Your Weapon, and Daredevil and his Billy Clubs are one of my favorites. April 28th is National Superhero Day, and the school I work at wants me to run a comic book giveaway to help promote literacy and do it in a super fun way for the kids. That is awesome, by the way. I'll be dressing up as Iron Man, and one of my workers is dressing up as Captain America. And we're going to deck out one of the rooms with all kinds of superhero decor. It was my first. I was at my favorite lunch place, Hidden Thrift, digging for books for the event, and I had to snag this one for myself. What a great David Finch cover. Perfect for Finch Friday. That's a hashtag Finch Friday. I'm making a post to see if anyone has books to donate. Gold Key Disney would be amazing for my kindergarten kids. Much love to this great community. Damn, Mike. Well done, man. See, that's something that kind of pulls at our heartstrings right there. We love stories like that.
Yeah, I was thinking when you read that, I was like, heartstrings all the way here.
Yeah, keep that in mind right there. Next up, we got Bond.
Paul Bond.
That's his name, but he also goes by Brixco Comics. Today was a magical day. I did a 3-way trade with the Cosmic Panel and 360 Comics. Joe, I think that's you. To acquire this 4-color for my PC. Then when I got home, my package from Marvel Comics arrived. I picked up this 4-color 16 and 4-color V2 number 9 from Jordy last week. This is quite the trifecta of Disney comics that will fill a massive hole in my PC. Number 4 is the first appearance of Donald Duck in a standard size comic. Issue 16 is the first appearance of Mickey Mouse. And volume 2, number 9 is the first interior work by Carl Barks. Joe, I think you have a few things to say about this submission.
Yeah, I mean, great that book ended up in Paul's hands because we weren't sure. I got it in a collection, the first Donald Duck, and it's a pricey book. I had $5,000 tagged on it, and I had it at a couple conventions and up in a couple claim sales. And finally, Paul, it was actually a funny situation. Middle of the week this week, I got a random Venmo from Paul for $500. And that was like his, like, all right, don't sell that book. Here's my down payment. And we actually worked out a trade for the rest of the value. I ended up getting a nice high grade ASM 129 First Punisher, 8.5, and a really nice First Silver Surfer, a 7.0 of Fantastic 448. Those are the other two books that were part of the trade.
That is amazing, by the way. So well done, Paul. Very happy for you there. Guys, it's my first fresh get of the week, and I'm going to just bring it out. I said Energon, and this is Transformers number 19. Jecky, I am not caught up, so do not spoil it for me, but I love this Megatron cover. Yeah, so I heard Daniel Warren Johnson is actually going to be leaving the series, and he's the main reason that everything has been just going so well with all of this stuff. So I wonder what the plan is next. So they haven't really announced that. We shall see. All right, moving on. Jecky, pay attention to this one because you're going to meet right now Raising Elm Comics, aka Justin.
Okay.
And he elevates every time. He just elevates it. Like he is. If anybody wants to see what it means to think outside the box, get creative, and have fun,
okay,
Justin's does
the guy.
So first off, I'm just going to pull the picture up, and we're just going to look at this guy with the French beret. This is his alter ego, Beardpool. He is in
Beardpool.
Yeah, Italy or something. Let me just read it. Raising Elm Comics. Well, my fellow Canaanites, it's time to trade in the chimichangas for the cannolis. Picture it, Sicily, 2025. It's a brand new day, and you're left pondering why the tracksuit mafia across the road. Forget about it. Wow, this is the last time I do cheesy one-liners with off-brand powdered Parmesan. Anyways, I won't beat around the brush. Have you ever unknowingly become someone's muse and they surprise you with an amazing, accurate portrait of yourself on a comic book artboard? Kind of makes you want to stop, take it all in, and breathe heavy and growl for exactly 8 hours, 36 minutes, and 7 seconds, like a honey badger doing ASMR. Lewis, a.k.a. Kaboom Comics, Grassi, amico mio. I don't do Italian very well. Che meraviglia. I'm truly touched in all the right ways. Okay, so I just read that to you guys, but you have to see what was delivered here.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's a portrait of Justin, a.k.a.
That actually looks really good, though.
It's amazing.
Amazing.
It looks really good.
It's so good.
Look at that beard.
It's incredible. So, Kaboom, you are crushing it right now with these. Like he did his personal book is in the semifinals, and the book he drew for another person is in the semifinals. They're going up against each other, which is weird. But anyways, and there's the next submission we have is a complete coincidence that's stuck together because it's Kaboom Comics and something we've never seen before either. But before we get to that, Jecky, what's your second fresh get of the week?
Let's see. Green Lantern Corps, number 3. I'm a big Green Lantern guy. I read a lot of Green Lanterns. So they have 2 issues, right? They have 2 different series. One that just follows Al Jordan, which I'm not loving right now with what they're doing with the gray spectrum. I'm not really enjoying that. But I enjoyed this with Jon Stewart and Shahara, I guess it's Shahara. And just they're rebuilding the Green Lantern Corps. This has been fun. That was a really good read. And the twist here was her planet, her home planet had a big egg that turned into a giant like falcon god situation.
Oh wow.
I enjoyed it. That was pretty dope. That was a good read.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. Green Lantern's my favorite DC hero as well, whether it be Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart. I love both of them. I'm not a huge Guy Gardner fan. I don't know people that are. But I stopped reading. I'm still getting the Green Lanterns in my pull list. I told him no more, but I feel bad for not buying it. But and I stopped getting the War Journal one as well. I don't know why I didn't pick that one up. So I think I'll have to look out for that. But
No, that's
all
pretty good.
Moving on, as I said, Kaboom Comics. This is crazy. It blew me away. And I'll tell you why after I read this to you.
Oh, yeah.
Bullseye just picked up this Thunderbolts #1 thanks to the community I got influenced by. Guess by who? It's obviously Nori Jordan. Into getting my first copy in a sweet high grade too. So happy to finally pick up a copy. But it looks like Jeff is not that happy. He looks scared to get hooked. Also, but he doesn't know this other copy is heading his way soon. Now he's hooked with the Thunderbolts virus. Enjoy, comic book fam and community. Okay, so I took a look at this and I was like, this is awesome. Another great Kaboom Comics. That's weird. That guy kind of looks like me. And obviously I didn't read it at that point. That's freaking me. That's me. He drew
I was
me.
thinking, I was thinking, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, well, look.
That's so funny.
It's crazy. Like, Jesus, that's amazing.
I feel
Luis,
like
you are incredible.
You kind of have to vote for that one, don't you? I mean,
I don't vote. It's you.
I mean, you're picking the winner.
Yeah.
Okay.
We love having guests because then we don't have to decide who the winner is, which is a big deal. Yeah, exactly. That you got to get it right too. But Luis, thank you so much. That is really amazing, special. I'm going to cherish that actually. It's going to be hanging up on my wall very soon. Cool. Okay. Next up, Joseph, your second fresh get.
Yeah. So this one came in a collection that I bought. You don't often get stuff like this in collections. Every once in a while, this person actually had mostly like silver, bronze, and copper age stuff. But there was this beauty right here. Crime Suspense Stories number 11. EC
So
Comics,
creepy.
you all know, something that I collect very heavily is pre-code horror. Now, I already have this one. I actually have 2 copies of this one right now. So this is actually a third. So I'm going to put the 2 lower grade ones up for sale. This one, pretty solid mid-grade. I have it at a 4.0 to 4.5. And it's got this classic cover by Johnny Craig, where this guy is not only murdering people, but also hanging them up on meat hooks. And you can see their dangling feet. So this is definitely a pre-code book with a very graphically disturbing cover.
Yeah, that is creepy as hell and right up Joe's alley for sure. That thing is awesome, man. Joe is always getting those books right there.
Also right up your alley, Jeff, because of the feet.
The foot fetish.
Yeah.
Next time I'm over at your house, just let me never mind.
Look at the
Jeff's been removed from the show. Jecky, we're taking it from here.
All right. Yeah, there's no easy segue into the next one we have, which is our very own Josh's Comics, aka the Adam Schefter of the canon. Look at this. He is not eligible, Jecky, just letting you know. But he does like submitting still. Josh's Comics, Batman 609, first appearance, Thomas Elliott, later revealed to be Hush. By the way, Jecky, I saw your Hush 2 kind of retrospective. It was really good. Not retrospective. What am I trying to say? Just kind of explaining as Hush 2 is coming out what Hush was and why you're excited.
Recap.
Thank you.
It's really good. All right. So he says first appearance of Thomas Elliott, later revealed to be Hush. Most of Batman's rogue gallery have appeared way before the 2000s, while he has had plenty more come and go. Only a few big names such as Harley Quinn, Hush, and Court of Owls have made a huge impact to the rogues gallery, in my opinion. I couldn't be happier to add this 9.8 beautiful copy of the first Thomas Elliott, aka Hush, to ever-growing Rogues collection. Plus the beautiful artwork of Jim Lee. Shout out to Millhouse Comics on a great deal at King Khan Show. He's a great member of the community. Enjoy this beautiful, fresh from the comic shop. Josh, well done, man. Very well done indeed. We love that. All right, my fresh get of the week, my second fresh get. I'm going to actually go with 2 and 3 real quick. They're all new books. Because we only have one more submission we have to get to now. And actually, there's a bunch of books. Geiger, 13. Haven't read it yet. Went to my LCS. By the way, this was a pick of the week last week. Again, we subscribe to the books that we recommend to you all. Can't wait to read this. I love Geiger. I love Jeff Johns, what he's doing with Gary Frank.
Jeff Johns is the man. He's just
oh my God, so good. And then I'm just going to jam through all these three. I guarantee you, Jecky has been all over these. We got Absolute Green Lantern #1, Martian Manhunter, Absolute Martian Manhunter #1, which is a limited series, and The Flash. Again, another pick of the week from Comic Book Canon.
Jeff, can you
Absolute Flash?
Can you show that that Martian Manhunter cover again? That was really awesome.
This cover is dope. I picked it up today. I have not read it, but look.
I love that book, man. Like I actually read it twice. Like I read it, and then a couple of days later, I grabbed it again just to kind of like go back into the art. I love that book.
Who did that cover?
Yeah.
I
don't
it's almost like
anything.
It feels like Mike Allred, but it's not. It's not.
I'm just going to open up the splash page here because this is the first time I'm seeing it.
Oh, geez. It kind of looks like Mike Allred style, but it's
Javier Rodriguez. So I don't know if he does the. Oh my God! Look at this.
Yo, I like him.
Yeah, no, that dude. It's so trippy and it's so good. Like I read it and I really enjoyed it, and I was like, I kept thinking about it, and I went back to read it again. Like it's
I never do that, so I can't imagine many people do, but that is very.
I don't do that often too.
Yeah, Joe, maybe this is one you're going to need to pick up. I'll read it and let you know how it goes. Jecky obviously gives it a thumbs up. So, all right, and our last submission here is Nori Jordan. Believe it or not, it's a Darkhawk book. This week for my Fresh from the Comic Shop was planning on dressing up like an Italian painter and show some Thunderbolts books, but Raising Elm and Kaboom Comics already beat me to it. Luckily, I always have a plan B for these situations. As a child growing up in the 90s, one of my favorite series was Darkhawk. I have numerous #1 copies, but I couldn't turn down a CGC 9.8 when I saw it priced for $80. I keep hoping this character makes a return to comics, perhaps on a certain team like the Avengers, not the Thunderbolts. Take care, everyone. Nori, we love you, man. That is good work there. I like what he's done. He stepped it up as well in his presentation, too. Now, here's the deal, Jecky. There's some books out there that you saw. All the submissions we've been through. We're going to see your third Fresh Get of the Week. We're going to see Joe's third Fresh Get of the Week. Then decisions need to be made as we'll bring the judge in.
All right. So I pulled something from my stack here.
Go for it.
From the stack.
Bishop.
Oh.
Yeah.
Back in the day, Bishop. I think this is like the 90s. This is part of my uncle.
Definitely 90s.
My uncle gave me some of his old comic books, so I've been revisiting these. I have the full collection of, so I haven't read all of them, but I love this cover with Gambit and Bishop. It's just I love that era.
What issue is that? I just got #1. I picked that up somewhere.
It's 4.
Oh, okay.
And then, so you got like
cardstock too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, foil cardstock cover. Very 90s.
Very 90s. Oh, that's dope. Bishop is such a great. That's another underrated character. I feel like
he is. And just
that's nice art.
If you like Bishop, go read. There's a miniseries called The Life and Times of Lucas Bishop, and it's really good.
Oh, okay. The
I'm
Life
gonna
and
check
Times.
that out on Marvel Unlimited, actually.
Yeah,
sure. All right, Joseph, your third Fresh Get of the week.
All right, this came in a very surprise collection that I wasn't even looking for, but I got a phone call this week. Local guy who I've sold to, I've bought from him a bunch. He unfortunately had his car stolen, and he was like, "I need some money quick for some expenses during this time," and bought some books from him. This was the best one. I'm gonna drop it from the top here. You all know this classic cover. Batman.
Damn.
227 classic Neil Adams cover. And check the grade out. This is a graded copy. This is a tough book to get a high grade on because not only is it a book from like 1970 or something, early Bronze Age, but it's also a black cover. Definitely get spine ticks. This one, a really nice grade, 8.5 on this. And you may learn this. It's a yellow label. Well, check this out. My hand's been covering it the whole time. Right.
Okay. All right.
Signature right there, right on the moon. The great Neil Adams. Signed this book, 8.5 grade on it. This is one of those books that I'm like, man, I spent a lot of
Yeah.
money on the collection, and I need to sell some stuff. But at the same time, should I really sell this book, or should I keep this in my personal collection? I've had a bunch of copies of this book. None of them have been this high grade, and none of them have been signed.
That one you keep, man. That one you keep.
It's
you
tough.
gotta keep it for sure. All right.
Sell the other ones. Sell the other ones. You keep that one.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Joe's gonna have a few days to decide on what he wants to do with that book, but you don't have much time, Jecky, on deciding.
All right.
We'll move on to the semifinals for April.
So,
are there any books that are sticking out? You don't have to be like. You could give us.
two or
All right, I
three.
like these three, right? And then you'll have to decide from there.
So I'm a sucker.
Before
I'm a
we do
sucker
that,
for a good
actually,
story. All right, go ahead.
hold on. Let's bring in the judge. He's going to explain what his role is in this whole thing.
All right, Jackie, just to show you how high caliber this show is, they have hired a professional judge to rule over everything. So no pressure, sir. Everything's on you right now.
Okay.
14 million people are watching currently, too.
Right.
It's all you.
All right. So I really liked I took some notes. I really liked the story of the Daredevil person.
Mike Haggs.
Mike Haggs. That was a great story. But I also really liked the Atom. So I think I'm gonna give the edge that Atom went with Zatanna.
Oh, it's Zatanna. Okay. So you're talking Kate's Comics.
Yeah. Like I love the cover. Just I think he said it was like Zatanna's second appearance.
Second appearance, first cover appearance.
First cover, yeah.
First cover, and I was like, that's pretty unique. And I lately Zatanna has been getting a lot of love with her single or her own series, but overall, I do think that is a very underrated character. I agree with that. So I'm gonna go with that one. Yeah, and I love really love the Atom as well. So
that's your choice, the final choice, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so Judge, we're submitting to you Kate's Comics with her submission of the Atom. Here, what say you?
Well, first of all, I'm very impressed with this guest as opposed to previous guests who him and haw and can't make up their mind. This gentleman here was direct, no nonsense. He got right to the point and made a quick decision and a good decision. I'm going with the Atom as the character of choice here. Case dismissed.
Case dismissed. Kate's Comics, you are moving on to the semifinals. I can't remember who you're going up against, but it was somebody from last week, I think. We'll make sure we get that voting going on by Wednesday. We're going to finish up the Fresh from the Comic Shop Book of the Year voting this week. At some point, we'll have the winner next week. Jecky, man, seriously, it's been a pleasure having you on. We're not just saying that because you're an Eagles fan. Let's bring Joshua in.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
I mean, you did a great job. The interview, everything all around. So everybody, you better follow Jecky on the TikToks. The link is down below. Yeah, Joe is sponsored by Kirkland.
Brand recognition, guys. Brand recognition.
Yeah, for sure. Jecky, do you have any final thoughts about being now an alumnus as a guest co-host on the Canon?
No, just want to say thank you. This was really fun. Great experience. You guys are great. Really enjoyed everything. The one with your face, that was a close third though. The one with your face and the screaming with Bullseye behind you, that one's really dope too. That's a good one. And
by the way, Lewis said that his submission is my first cover appearance, which I think
that's true. And that's saying something. That's important too. You know?
Yeah. So that's
get that graded. So
I'm definitely bringing it out. I mean, it's going on my wall. That's flattering and just I show my fiance and I'm like, are you kidding me? She's like, wow. So yeah, really well done there, Lewis. Really appreciate that. What say you? Who should we go to next, Joe?
Josh.
I just
Bye, Josh.
Man,
You're back.
Man. Never gets old. Just want to say thank you for coming on tonight and joining us. It was a great night, and I like your background, man. And I'm gonna ask you: are those absolute editions of Watchmen up there?
No, it's the more recent one. My uncle had lended me his original from like way back, and he asked for it back, and I was like, you're hoping he forgets about it. So I was like, damn, I still need a copy of it. So this is a more recent one. I don't I really love this one because it talks about the HBO series. I wanted something a little older, but I had it forever, and he asked for it back, which kind of
they missed this question, and this question is going to define if you come back on the show. Who wins in a fight between Batman versus Spider-Man?
Spider-Man. Like, I think Spider-Man easily.
Yeah, you're not going to be back on the show.
Josh is a Batman guy.
I'm a Batman guy too, but come on, like people always forget just how strong Spider-Man is. Like, just off rip, especially when he's pissed off, Spider-Man.
Especially with prep time, like if Batman's got prep time, you're telling me.
Oh my God, prep time!
Can we move on to you, sir? Can you please help close out the show?
All right, Jecky, great guess. You have to come back. I mean, you're just a delight. You really are.
Oh, thank you, I appreciate it, guys.
By the way, are we on next week? Next week is Easter. Are we on Sunday?
That's a good question.
Ooh.
Yeah, I guess not. That makes sense.
We should probably. So I want to wish everybody happy Easter and love being on the show. I'll be on Spinetics next Saturday, 8:00 Pacific. But I guess I won't be on next week with you guys. So we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we'll figure that all out. We'll communicate to you all on the socials and all of that good stuff. Again, Joe, throw it your way real quick.
Yeah, it's been a really busy couple of months here over with me. I've seen a lot of viewers at conventions and stuff like that, and some of you have popped into the couple live sales that I've had a chance to do. Glad to be getting done with convention season. With the next 2 weeks. Next weekend, I do have a live sale on Saturday. It's my high roller sale with Elite Comics 11. So come by if you're looking for, mostly bigger keys and stuff. Typically, I do stuff that's like $50 and off on that show, all the way up to the, multi-$1,000 books. And then the weekend after, Super Jersey Comic Expo. If you are in the Philadelphia, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, New York area, definitely come out to that show. Gonna be a lot of fun. Lots of crazy guests there. Lots of really good guests. Members of the community, creators, all that kind of stuff. Other than that, thank you, Jecky, for being here. Definitely want to try to, as we said, get more guests on and give Jecky a follow if you haven't. We forgot, Jeff, to ask Jecky before the show his follower count on Instagram. All right. We always try to get, see what the follower count is before and after the show, and we screwed up, but hopefully a bunch of people follow.
It's got to be a few 100,000 more people.
A million more.
About that.
Minimum.
So you're welcome. Kirkland probably will send you a check.
I appreciate you.
Again, time is our most precious commodity. We appreciate the time you all spend with us each and every week. I don't think we're going to be back next week because it's Easter. We really haven't thought that far ahead. But we will talk about things. We'll talk about it in the socials. And a lot of big things coming up here in the canon. A lot of cool things happening. And I'm not making that up. So, Jecky, again, thank you so much for spending time with us. Hang out until we cut the live because we have an after party open bar. We've never really let the audience in on that. But anyways, everybody, please be good to yourself. Be good to others. And until next time, peace.